Welcome to your daily dose of dopamine. My name is Robert. That is my pal Susan. And today we are getting into the Disney half marathon that my dad and I recently completed. And there's a lot to it. And I'll just say, as it shows up in the blog, which is now posted day by day to go along with this, one of the discoveries really is that, people always want to see the result and they talk about the race, but a lot more goes on to it behind the scenes. So
Oh, yeah. So that was really kind of clever then of you to do that in chapters. It felt like I was desperate for more, and I looked all over it. It was just like part one cliffhanger as I was thinking about it. But I hadn't realized it from that perspective, Robert. That's cool that you said that it's not just about the finish. It's not just about the end.
yeah.
There's so much that goes on.
Well, I think it's like this in a lot of Parkinson's things. People will see someone succeeding or see someone doing great, and what this journey was about as much as anything. What I want to make sure comes across is that people recognize the difficulty not in the physical part of the race. That truly was probably one of the easiest parts of the weekend. The difficulty of managing from a caregiving standpoint, my dad with his issues, my mom with her issues, the technical issues on people I was relying upon who didn't come through the way they should have, professionals who didn't come through,
Mhm. Mhm.
and all of the incredible stress that left me feeling as a caregiver. And so my shout out to the caregivers is just to make sure, I hear you, I feel you, and we need a lot more resources and support for caregivers. We just do. I mean, for doing something, I'm not saying it was a small lift what I was doing. It was challenging. However, it was made a lot more challenging due to lack of support in places. And that's what I want to get across.
Most of them were small things. They were,
Relatively. I guess you would have to define small, right?
yes, I mean, there were no automobile crashes or anything like that,
Okay.
of that magnitude. They were, I mean, yes, but
Well, let's be specific. I mean, the first one that really hit hard was the med techs at my parents' assisted living facility not giving me the proper number of doses, missing one of my dad's 4 medications for all, 4 days
all
we were going to be
4 days,
gone.
right?
And I'm sure other people have dealt with this, both people with Parkinson's who medicate themselves and care partners who handle this. What do you do when you're on the road and the medication you rely upon, which is so important to quality of life, is just not available? What do you do?
I think our default is we assume the professionals are going to be professional, and so we feel betrayed, we feel panicked,
Yeah.
and your accounting was calling multiple pharmacies who, for dumb technical reasons, wouldn't make it happen.
Right. I
I
mean,
think I would have, if it were me, I would have, on the first time when he didn't have a pill, I would have taken one for the next day. Hoped that
right.
by the time we got to that day that I would have had my supply replenished.
There was that opportunity to start robbing Peter to pay Paul, eventually. I
Yeah.
just, I said, I don't want to get into a race against time. And it was already the weekend, knowing that causes issues in and of itself. And go, okay, really what I need is for people who are involved in these clinics that are open is to like say step up and hear me humanistically. And I had a painful exchange with the pharmacist after several reps and techs in front of her, and she was the last person in line. And I told her flatly, I said, I don't think you're doing a job as a doctor to doctor here. Your job is to help. If I was requesting morphine or some kind of street type narcotic, that you might be able to get, I'd understand this. But that's not what I'm asking for, and the supply I'm asking for. And you're able to see the doctor's note who's an in network provider for you at Kaiser. You see her name on the list. I realize it didn't come through the Kaiser pharmacy, but there's a man struggling. And you know what Parkinson's is? You know how important this pill is.
That's what I was thinking.
Can't you
And
give
it's
me six
generic.
pills? Six pills.
And they're generic. It's not,
Yeah, yeah. It is not expensive
argue.
if that was the
They're
case.
not even expensive, right?
Yeah, as if that were the thing. Well, look, that's going to lead us to the end of our first day, because that was the end of my crisis. I said, I'm going to bed. So read up on that. That's the end of day one, a road trip, which had some challenges to it, and then this big pill fiasco. But we're going to get on with the next daily dose, and we'll talk about day two.